Hello everybody, welcome to Deluxe Collectibles, and today I'm going to be showing you every LEGO Monkey Kid set that appears throughout the course of Season 3. That's going to be from episodes 1 to 10. I will not be including the Embrace Your Destiny finale special because that will be covered in a separate video, but for now, let's get straight into it here and start off with the first episode. Alright, so for episode 1, we have 4 sets featured in this one, and the first is the Monkey King Warrior mech, but not the actual mech being featured in this episode, but actually just Monkey King's cloud that he rides on. That's featured in this episode. And then we also have the Bone Demon as well, and that is of course the large mech that is featured in the episode as well, and you'll see that quite consistently throughout Season 3. And then we also have Monkey King's team drone copter as well, which is really cool to see it in this episode since it's the last time we see it fully functioning, as it does get destroyed by the end of this episode. And then we have Naja's fire ring as well, but the element included from this set is not the fire ring itself, but it's actually Macaque's vehicle that's included in this episode and featured in it. So that was really cool to see, and I was super excited about that because I really do like that side build quite a bit from that set. So a great roster here to kick us off in episode 1. Okay, now for the second episode here, we have 3 sets featured in this one, and the first is the drone copter once again, but now it's destroyed, it's underwater, you don't really get a great shot of it, and it is its final appearance in this season, so just keep that in mind going forward. Then we have the Dragon of the East here, which is super cool. I love this underwater dragon here. I think it looks great, and it was super awesome to see it featured here in this episode. Now, unfortunately, it is the last time that we see it here featured in the season, so introduced and exited in the same episode here, but still super cool nonetheless. Then we have the Monkey Kids team van included in this episode, which is the introduction of it here in the series as a whole. I love this van. I think it's definitely got to be my favorite of the team vehicles thus far in Monkey Kids, so you're gonna see a lot more of this in the future episodes. So that's it though for episode 2. Okay, now in episode 3 here, we actually only have 1 set featured in this one, and that is the team van here, and there isn't a lot more going on here. It's kind of just stuff that is not featured in the sets within this episode, so not much more to talk about. Alright, now to kick it back up here with episode 4, we have coincidentally 4 sets featured in this one, and we have the Bone Demon. Of course, the mech here is going to be featured in a lot of episodes. It doesn't do a ton until the conclusion of Season 3, but it is still there within the episode, so that counts for something. Then we have Evil Macaque's mech as well, which does get to do a lot in this episode and is its introduction as well within the season, so super exciting here. I love this mech a ton, both in the set and in the show, so I think that's really great to see it here introduced. Then we have Naja's fire ring as well, but once again, it is only Macaque's vehicle that is featured in this episode, but cool to see it, even though it's kind of just landed and we don't really get to see much more of it throughout the episode. And then the other one that we have here is the team van. Once again, of course, gonna be another consistent thing like the Bone Demon, where we see that throughout most of the episodes here, so once again featured in this one. Now for episode 5, speaking of the team van, it is the one and only set featured in this episode here, and there isn't much more to say other than that. Now we're at episode 6, and we have 4 sets featured in this one, and we have Monkey Kid's Cloud Roadster, and the only feature of it in this episode is actually just in a drawing that MK has made to basically illustrate his plan that he's carrying out in this episode, so we don't actually get to see them ride in it or anything like that, but it is featured in a little drawing that he has done in the episode. Then we have Red Sun's Inferno truck set here, but the only part that's featured is actually the car car basically that he rides in that set that comes out of the massive truck that is featured here within the episode when of course the heroes kind of steal it from Red Sun and then take it out there, and then it does transform into May's dragon car, which of course is also featured in this episode and is the only episode that it's featured in for season 3, but it was really cool to see it and great that they were able to tie it in there where basically it's just a Mayified version of Red Sun's vehicle, so I think that's pretty cool for sure. And then of course we have the Flaming Foundry, which is basically where the whole episode takes place, where Red Sun, DBK, and Princess Ironfan all live, and that's where the episode takes place. And of course you could count DBK as well. Now I'm not going to be counting him as the very large DBK set that came out back in wave 1 of Monkie Kid, because that's like the super powered up version of him where he's really large, and this is just the more standard normal version of the character, so it's more so akin to the version that's found in the Foundry set, but still a really cool inclusion here and a great roundup here for this episode. Alright, now for episode 7, and I'm super excited for this one because we have some very unique sets featured in this episode that stay exclusive to this episode alone, and the first one that we have is the team van. I'm gonna get that right out of the way because I'm sure you already could have guessed that it would be featured in this episode, but the more exciting ones that we have here are the Galaxy Explorer that's included here. I was really curious when this set got revealed of how they were going to tie it into season 3 because I knew this season wasn't going to be a whole space exploration season, so I was wondering, is it just going to be a throwaway one-off? But I love how they tied it in to searching for the Samadhi rings and finding them at the Mooncake factory, which brings us to our next set here, and I thought that was super great how they were able to integrate that there and sort of tie it into the story and also feature all the elements of the set as well, which was really great. You have them like bunny mechs basically and featured there. You also have the carrots, the factory, the whole Shazam there, so definitely a lot of cool stuff featured within this episode, which I did love a ton. Now we've made our way to episode 8 here, and we have 3 sets featured within this one, and the biggest one I would say is the City of Lanterns, and not just scale wise but just within the episode screen time wise, because of course within this episode they're spending the whole time within this city, which was so cool to see. It is so expansive within the show, and of course the set is fantastic as well, but when you see it compared to the show, it is only just hitting the tip of the iceberg there in the set, but it's still fantastic on its own. But I love seeing that featured within this episode. And then we also have, of course, as you probably could have guessed, the team van included here. Yeah, I know, big surprise. And then the Monkey King warrior mech here, but not the mech itself, but actually just once again Monkey King's cloud that he flies on is featured in this episode, so some pretty cool stuff included here within it. Okay, now we have episode 9, and this one features 5 sets in this episode, so quite a few here. We have the Monkey King warrior mech, but once again, just Monkey King's cloud and featured within this episode. Then we have Evil Macaque's mech featured in this one, which is so cool to see a return here in this episode. It's definitely one of my favorite mechs in the Monkey Kid series, and I love how it's portrayed within the show. Then we have Naja's fire ring featured in this one, and it actually is the fire ring featured in this episode, which was so cool. It's got to be one of the most creative and unique builds from Monkey Kid, so I love it a ton, and it was so cool to see it portrayed in animation. Then we have the City of Lanterns in this one as well, just at the beginning of the episode as they're leaving basically, so you don't get to see a ton of it, not like the previous episode, but still super cool nonetheless. Then we have the team van as well, which I'm sure you could have expected, but that's it for episode 9. Alright, now we have episode 10 here, and we only have 2 sets in this one, the Monkey King warrior mech, but I'm sure you can guess it's not the mech, it is Monkey King's cloud once again. And then we have Naja's fire ring, which actually is the fire ring once again, so super cool to see that featured here once again. But yeah, some pretty cool stuff within this episode. Alright, now to conclude the video here, I'm going to be sharing 3 fun facts here about the sets that appeared throughout Season 3, and the first one here I'm sure you could probably guess the answer to is the set that appeared in the most episodes, and that was the team van, of course. I mentioned it several times throughout this video, and it had a total of 7 appearances here out of the 10 episodes, which is a pretty darn good ratio there, I must say. And then the next fun fact that we have here is what episode had the most sets appear in it, and that was episode 9 with 5 sets appearing in that one, and some of the other episodes definitely came close, but this one hit the top here with the most sets appearing within it. And then the final fun fact that we have here is breaking down each of these separate release years for Monkie Kid with 2020, 2021, and now of course 2022, and the one that had the most appearances within this season was of course 2022. It makes sense, this is the season to showcase those sets. But then in second place we have Season 1, which is quite surprising, and then we have Season 2 coming in last here. And with Season 1, I assume it's just because a lot of the builds from that first wave of Monkie Kid are very iconic for the series, and definitely stuff that we see returning quite often within it as a whole, so it was kind of to be expected that we would see a lot of that throughout Season 3. But those are all of the fun facts here. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Be sure to let me know your thoughts on these sets appearing throughout Season 3. Do you think there's a really good balance for Monkie Kid between sort of advertising and integrating the sets into the story, and between actually telling the story and all of that? So let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. I'm really curious to hear them, and if you did enjoy the video, be sure to leave a like, also subscribe as well. If you would like to check out some of my other content, that would be highly appreciated. So thank you so much. I'll see you all next time, and always remember, keep on collecting.